MVP News is brought to you by Infinity Action Sports. Infinity Action Sports is a veteran-owned and operated custom sporting goods shop for quality sports uniforms, apparel, and equipment. They provide top-of-the-line products for individuals and teams, youth and adult. Head over to infinityactionsports.com and browse their inventory of jerseys, hoodies, gloves, and bats. Or use the custom tab to create the perfect individualized uniform for your team or event. Make sure to enter promo code MVP at checkout for 10% off, specially marked sale items excluded. Infinity Action Sports is MVP's only trusted source for sports apparel. Click on the link in the description to shop.
Welcome to MVP News, where we get real about football. And now to your hosts, Mike Pagano and Paul Helmers.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Pagano. I'm with Paul Helmers. MVP News here. We've got week 4 coming up. We've got an awesome Rams and Vikings game that's in the books. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, man, I know you're ready to talk about it. I don't know about you, but last night's game was absolutely incredible. I'm hoping that, we get more games like that every single week. I know the NFL was just jumping up and down to have a game like that on a Thursday night. Ratings love QBs throwing touchdowns left and right. What did you think?
I thought, what an exciting game. The Rams finally had to play a real defense. And then the story of the game wasn't defense at all. And both teams have good defenses.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was amazing. So let's go ahead and let's quit the banter. Let's go straight into the game. For everybody listening, we also have another episode that we just released. We had some questions coming in from some people that run a website very similar to what we do. They wanted to ask us some questions. So we did a special bonus podcast for the week, answering questions like, predictions for MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, what teams we feel are disappointing this year and what teams are exceeding expectations, and so many more questions. So be sure to check that out. And that's kind of why we're just jumping right into the game picks this week and right into the Thursday night breakdown, because we're not going to load you up with too much this week. So first and foremost, Rams fought off the Vikings 38-31. We were looking at an offensive matchup. I mean, from what I watched last night, it was probably one of the best QB battles that we've seen in a good amount of time. Definitely this year, the best one. We haven't seen something like this year. Both QBs did tremendous jobs. In fact, after the game, I would not look at Kirk Cousins and say, there's nothing. There's something you could have did better, because Kirk did an amazing job. He played his butt off. I mean, every time Goff scored, Kirk answered. Every time Kirk scored, Goff answered. We saw some great catches from Thielen. Cooper Kupp showed out in the first half, had over 100 yards in just the first half with 2 touchdowns. And then Gurley was Gurley. I mean, it's pretty much that simple. Paul, you mentioned the defense. Now, let me ask you a question, though. I didn't see a lot of defense last night.
Not at all.
And I don't know if that should disturb us. I mean, let's get beyond the hype of the QBs and how fun that was. Let's get back into real football talk. These teams are both trying to contend for the playoffs in January, and they're both trying to contend for a Super Bowl. Can they do that with the defensive woes they had last night? Because they gave up a lot of points, and they gave up a lot of easy plays.
Well, I think just the fact that both teams are so good, I don't think it's really a huge issue. I think both defenses show out when they really need to and when they're supposed to. But in a Thursday night game on a short week to prepare, it's hard to really prepare for an offense like that, especially against a guy like Sean McVay with all the weapons that he has and against the Vikings offense. I mean, the Vikings have weapons too. They have 2 returning, 1,100 yard receivers. Dalvin Cook went out last year.
Diggs and Thielen, right?
And then Kyle Rudolph too. And Dalvin Cook looked great last year before he came out. And they both have really good offenses. So I don't think it's a huge issue. But maybe it's something to kind of like store in the back of your head. But I think they're both okay.
Okay. Well, what we have up coming up Sunday is a bunch of great matchups as well. So I don't want to waste too much time diving into the Vikings and the Rams. I feel like this game was an extremely fun game. I feel like it was exactly what the NFL needed for Thursday night matchups. And I feel that you kind of broke it down right about that with, yeah, the defenses gave up some stuff, but at the quality and level that these guys are playing at, it's going to be okay to do so. Because I'll tell you right now, if it's a shootout, the way Goff played last night, I'm picking Goff 10 out of 10
Right.
times. If it's a shootout with Kirk, if he plays the way he played last night, I'm probably picking him a bunch of times too. If he plays the way he played last night. But both teams were outstanding. If you're in the NFC, be warned. The NFC got to see something last
The
night.
Rams put everyone
The Saints,
on
the
notice.
Panthers, the Eagles, everybody. I mean, Jared Goff, not even just his yards and his stats. Did you see those passing plays? Like, did you actually see the precision?
Dropped
He
it
was
right
dropping in his touchdowns. He had a couple on double coverage where the ball skimmed past both defenders. Like, it was amazing how precise he was. And he's not always that precise. I mean, I'm not sitting there saying he always is. Last week he had missed throws, but it felt like last night Goff felt that it was a moment. He felt the energy of the crowd. Thursday night game. He's in LA and he capitalized and he brought that energy, and it was just accuracy and precision. And hey, that guy had a hell of a game last night. We got to give it up to Goff, even if you don't like him. Great game.
He only
Great
had
game.
7 incompletions too. He was 26 of 33. And think about 26 completions, and he still threw for 465 yards. That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable to see that he did that and how he did that. And like I said, before we end this and move on to the games, you got to give a shout out to Kirk Cousins, though. He did play a hell of a game. That's exactly what they brought him into Minnesota to do. That right there is what they wanted out of him. If Minnesota can really get a run game going, then this team can be extremely threatening out there. Because I mean, let's really look at it. I mean, Kirk Cousins throwing 422 yards. Can you imagine if he's able to have a running back that's putting up 100 yards in a game too? I mean, obviously he's not going to put 422 up in the same game. That'd be a scary game.
Right.
But I mean, can you imagine if he had a Gurley like Goff does? That's a dangerous, predicament for the NFL. But we'll see. Trade deadline's still out there, and Lev Bell still is possibly on the market.
No, I don't think the
Ooh.
Vikings need that. They got Dalvin Cook. They got Lamar Murray, Murray behind them. And, so Dalvin Cook was 10 attempts for 20 yards last night. That's pretty measly, but that's not all his fault. That's mostly that's
Let's
on the
pause
team
for 2
in
seconds
general.
and let me ask you: can you imagine what Lev Bell would be like on the Vikings?
He'd probably be pretty dirty, but that's not Zimmer's style. Zimmer's not going to go for that.
Yeah, the NFL and the NFC better hope not.
That would probably make their offense
not.
nearly unstoppable. I don't know if you could even
That'd be
touch
scary.
him at that point.
And because he's such a good pass option to have Diggs, Thielen, and Bell.
And Rudolph
Oh my
and Treadwell.
goodness.
Treadwell was looking really good last night too.
Let's be honest. If you're the GM of Minnesota and you're saying to yourself that I want my ring now, I want to make the Super Bowl ring, and then you watched what happened last night and you say I have to go through them to get this, then I'm going to go out and make a move because of what happened last night. Because now you know, all right, we came up short and we played excellent. So he can't even blame it on performance. He knows they put their all into that game. So they need to figure out how are we going to beat them in the playoffs.
Also, did you notice Dan Bailey was 3 of 3 on field goals, 2 of 2 on extra points?
Hey, he's not that bad. I mean, I don't know why people were so upset with him. I know he made some mistakes near the end of it. I mean, the latter part of his career, missed a couple kicks, but yeah, no.
He's still the most accurate kicker in NFL history.
Yeah, and I think they're very smart for signing him. I think
Yeah,
they're very smart for
definitely.
going out there and getting him. But all right, let's go ahead and dive right into the weekend games. So we're gonna start like we always do with the early games and roll right through all the way up to Monday Night Football. If the game is not as important, we'll hit on it. We'll give you our picks, but we're not gonna waste a lot of time. And then we're gonna dive deep into the games that you guys want to hear about. Maybe you can use, maybe you need some advice. Maybe you're doing your NFL pick'em on NFL.com, or you're doing your pigskin pick'em on ESPN, or maybe you're doing some betting. So let's give you some advice right here. Let's tell you who we're picking. Starting with the Jets going to the Jaguars. So we've got a 1 o'clock game for you East Coasters, 10 a.m. for you West Coasters. The Jets are headed out to Florida here. And, I mean, this is an interesting matchup only because the Jaguars did look incredible against the Patriots, but I mean, they haven't looked really great and dominant like normal against other teams. Now, granted, against the Titans, their defense obviously worked. It was a 6-3 matchup, but I mean, their defense they're fourth, but offense they're 20th, passing they're 18th, rushing they're 13th. Now, I believe Fournette might be back on this game. I haven't heard anything new on that. I know that he was out for a couple weeks, and there was rumors that he should be back by this week, if not next week. So I think that would be a big change. I'm going to go with the Jaguars here, only because I do trust their defense more than I trust Sam Darnold. And I don't think Sam Darnold has played a defense like this caliber yet. I mean, he played the Browns, and they handled him. And the Browns are pretty damn good. What are you looking at with this game, Paul? What are you thinking?
I'm kind of thinking the same thing. I don't think the Jets defense is very, what I want to say, elite. I think they're decent, but they're not elite. And that's going to help the Jaguars kind of slow offense really come through. And then on top of that, I mean, like you mentioned, the Jaguars defense is just really, really good. And their secondary is really, really good. And I don't know that Sam Darnold's going to be able to really take it to that secondary. And I mean, that's really what it boils down to. They're probably going to get a couple picks. I mean, Sam Darnold's a rookie. He's thrown a couple picks already. He's going to keep throwing it. I mean, I think it's Jaguars.
Hey, yeah. I mean, this one's not a hard pick. Jets haven't showed us much to really think otherwise other than their first game. So let's go ahead and roll into our next one. So our next early game is going to be the Dolphins at New England Patriots. Now, a little insight right here is the Dolphins are 3-0 in control of that division over top of the Patriots. And if they win this game, they will be looking at their first 4-0 start since 1995.
Oh, my God, the Dan Marino days.
Now, it is at home for the Patriots. And I believe that plays a major factor because Tom, statistically, if you look at it, he doesn't do well going down to the humid state of Florida during this time of the year and battling with the Dolphins. They do usually stand with them. But this game is interesting because I keep giving the Patriots the benefit of the doubt, saying they'll do what Patriots do. They'll do what Patriots do. But will they is the question. So right now, Brady is, he's throwing about 64% completions, and he's at like 6.4 yards per attempt. Well, Tannehill's 73% with 9.3 yards per attempt. And I think he's won like 10 of his last 11 or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but he's really, he's close to it. So I want to pick the Patriots, but something's inside of me telling me not to. So I'm going to give them one more week of the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give them one more week of what I believe the Patriots can do. And I'm going to pick the Patriots because they're at home, because I do not see Bill Belichick letting this happen 3 weeks in a row. He's not going to lose against the Jaguars, lose against the Lions, and then let the Dolphins beat him. I just feel that. Now, Patriots lose this week, there's no more benefit of the doubt. No more. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Patriots. What about you, Paul?
No, I think the same thing. I was actually going to say pretty much the same thing, too. Like, I haven't given up on the Patriots yet. I still think they're, who they are, who they have been. But like you said, after this week, if they lose again this week, then no, I'm not giving them that kind of the historical context anymore. I'm basing all my decisions on what they're doing right now this season, because they haven't looked good. But the Dolphins, like you said, I mean, we mentioned Adam Gase as maybe a potential Coach of the Year candidate in that bonus content, and I think the Dolphins look really good right now. I'm not ready to give up on the Patriots yet.
No, I know it's so hard to do. So, real quick though, I do want to share two notes that I have for this game that I thought were really interesting. So, for Tom Brady, this season, he's 1 for 10 with 0 touchdowns, 1 interception on deep passes. That's 20 plus yards. And his passer rating is 0.0. That doesn't sound like the Tom Brady I know. That means all for 3 games, he has not passed. I mean, he has 1 pass beyond 20 yards and 1 interception out of the 10 tries. I mean, that's crazy. Now, on the other hand, the Dolphins are the only team in the NFL, only, that has 4 wide receivers with 100 plus receiving yards through the first 3 games. Stills, Wilson, Grant, and Amendola.
That Jakeem Grant looks good. He is so fast.
That's amazing that they're able to 4 receivers.
Right.
That means they're just out there. The offense is that's just really something. The adjective I'm looking for right now, I can't even think of it, but it's applaudable. I'll tell you that much. Like, that's really something for Tannehill. I know many years he's kind of been on the Dalton scale, and when I say Dalton scale, I mean like that quarterback that's like right in the middle of the road kind of guy.
Right.
But maybe he's ready to start moving forward and showing people that, hey, I was once, the draft pick that everybody wanted, and I did good things and all that stuff. So we shall see, right?
Right. And I mean, we always talk about the big play capabilities in Tampa Bay. That's what has been the hot topic this year. But the Dolphins are big play potential too. The Dolphins' entire offense is so fast. They're so fast. Like, aside from Kenyon Drake and Amendola, everyone on that team runs like a 4.4 or below. It's ridiculous. Kenny Stills is so fast. Jakeem Grant is like 5'9", and his legs look like blurs when they move across the screen. I mean, what's it? Him and Albert Wilson high-fived on the way to the end zone.
Oh, hey, that's what happens when you have such great talent. I mean, and also that's what happens when you have a lot of years where you kind of struggle and you get those draft picks as well. So, I mean,
right.
Obviously some benefit to that. So,
and I mean, we haven't even talked about their defense yet. Their defense is looking pretty good too. I mean, that, like, not top of the line.
They lead the league in interceptions.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. I just know they look really good right now.
Yeah. So the Dolphins defense right now is leading the league in interceptions. Well, actually, there was a game on Thursday, so I'd have to double check was there any interceptions last night? Actually, I don't believe there was interceptions last night.
No, neither quarterback threw one. Right
now, the Dolphins actually, like, statistically aren't really jumping off the pages. I mean, they're around the 19s, the 18s for their stats, around the mid of the pack. But statistics, yeah, these guys they're getting the ball on turnovers. So interceptions right now, Miami has let me go ahead and get it for you. So I don't have it in front of me. I was trying to see if I could quickly get it. So, but last I heard, they were leading the league in interceptions though. So I'll get that number for you later on, just because I know personally you probably want to know what it is. But let's go ahead and go on to the next game. I'm gonna let you lead this one off because I know you have some high thoughts for Coach Vrabel. Vrabel. So we got the Titans hosting the Eagles. That's right, the Super Bowl champions heading in. Wentz's second game back from his injury. Got some time to warm up. Gonna be some better weather this time, hopefully. Wentz is headed out at the 1:00 game to battle the Titans. What are you thinking for this game, Paul?
I'm going to call this one an upset. I think against my better judgment, honestly, but I'm kind of high on the Titans at the moment. Their defense looks really good. They're going to shut down the Eagles' run game because they've been doing it. The Eagles don't have a really strong running game, and they've been doing it to everyone else so far too. So I think they're going to shut down the run game, which means it has to rely on Carson Wentz, who could still be a little rusty. I think maybe the Titans are better than we all thought they were, and they might come and take this one. I mean, it's in Tennessee. That's a big help for them. Their defense looks great. All they have to do is score a couple of times on offense and then keep the score low on defense, and they can win.
Yeah.
Now I know that's hard against the Eagles, but that's what I'm pulling for. I'm gonna pull for the upset.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go against you on this one and say that as much as I understand why, and I definitely can see where you're going with this, because there are some good, hopes with the Titans. And I got a close friend of mine who's a diehard Titans fan. And if he's listening, I'm sorry, bud. But I got to go with the defending Super Bowl champions here. I believe Wentz is just getting back into the rhythm of things. He looked pretty good yesterday for missing 9 months or whatever it's been. I think that the defense on the Eagles side is just as good as what's going on this Titans side. In fact, they're pretty much, I would say they're very even defenses. They're very similar defenses, but I do not trust Mariota. I know Mariota's leading the league in like rushing average for a quarterback and all. That's cool, but you're not going to do that against the Eagles, and it's not going to win you games. Yeah, Russell might have been able to work magic in the past and win games with his feet, and Kaepernick, but not a lot of people do that anymore because they know that they'll get crushed. And it's just not a good look. These QBs are scared to do that. I mean, except for certain guys. But I don't think
Jimmy G.
Yeah, and they don't want to run out of bounds. And but see, I don't see Mariota being able to beat Wentz. And that's my thing. I think Wentz is going to get better. And I like this rookie pass catcher at the tight end position for the Eagles. And I know that Ertz is dangerous as well. So I think the weapons are there. I think Wentz has the skills, and I think he's going to slowly be getting back into his MVP form. I mean, I see Wentz definitely becoming what he was before the injury. Some guys, they lose their step when they get hurt. Some guys lose that beauty that they had in their throw. I don't know what it is, if it's mental, if it's whatever it is. But Wentz, I have a feeling, is going to come back to it. He's going to be fine. He's going to get this team rolling, and I think that they go ahead and they handle the Titans not easily, but again, I don't think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be a 1-touchdown game. I give them 7 points, and I think that the Eagles win this game right here. So next up, this one's not, to me, this one's not really that interesting. It's really a stinker in my eyes, maybe not to you, but we've got the Houston Texans headed to Indianapolis to face off against the Colts. So we got two teams here that have been struggling, two teams that have barely won. I mean, the Colts have 1 win, and that's it. The Texans have 0. Luck has not looked that good. The Houston defense has not looked like what it should look like and what we've hoped for it to look like. And Deshaun Watson, he's had some good plays this season, but he hasn't been the Deshaun Watson that we expected. Now, for some reason, though, their running attack, it's working. They do have a run game. And
with the Colts?
No. The Houston Texans.
The Texans?
Yes.
Not
They're
last
8th
week.
in the NFL for rushing. So they are able to move the ball. But I'm going to have to give this one. It's a tough one. But I'm going to have to give this one to the Texans because I think they're going to get their first win. I don't think they're going to go 0-4. I think that there's going to be a drive in them. I think Watt is going to make his presence known in this game. I think Watt is going to get to Luck 2 times. So I'm going to call that. Luck will get 2 sacks minimum. And I think Deshaun Watson will have a good game, and he's going to pass for over 300 yards. I feel like this is going to be a good, sizable win against the Colts.
No, I agree entirely. I think the Texans finally get their first win. I know at the beginning of the season, I said this was probably looking like a division between the Texans and the Jaguars, and that's fleeting quickly, especially with an 0-3 start from the Texans. I mean, it looks right now like it's more like between the Titans and the Jaguars, but regardless, I think the Texans come out and get their first win. I think their defense is better than the Colts. I think their offense is better than the Colts right now. Andrew Luck can't throw the ball upfield still.
Yeah, no, he's not moving the ball beyond like 6 yards.
Factor. Right, that it makes his offense look like Dak Prescott. And is anyone saying that the Dallas offense is great right now? No. And you know what's worse than that? The Colts don't have a run game, and the Cowboys do. So the Colts just kind of don't look very good to me. I mean, I think their offense is better than the Cowboys. I think Andrew Luck is better than Dak Prescott. But I'm saying that I think the fact that he can't throw the ball upfield, defenses are catching on to that. So week 1, he put up some points. He was in position to try and take the game, right? And his guy fumbled, and the Bengals scoop and score and win. But I'm saying after that game, they haven't really done much offensively. They've kind of gone down and down and down. And he can't throw, man. If he can't throw far, then defenses don't have to cover deep. And then what? They bring in Brissett to throw the deep ball again?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see yeah, I agree with you. I mean, there's not a lot I can say and want to say about it, but yeah, I agree with you. The Colts they don't look good at all. So let's move on to our next game with some more teams that aren't looking so good this year. One that looked good last week, but we know it does not look that good this year. It was more of a catch of a slip up. But we got the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers. I'll let you go ahead and start this one off just because I don't want to vomit on myself right now.
This game has the potential to be ugly. I don't think it'll be. I think the Packers will come out and win pretty handily. I think the Bills surprised the Vikings last week, and that's all other teams need to see to be like, okay, we got to take these guys at least a little serious, and especially a division rival like the Packers. Packers aren't going to come in after the Vikings just lost to them and look bad. So unless Aaron Rodgers comes out of the game, the Packers will look fine. They'll win the game. They'll do their thing. Maybe I'm going to call at least one roughing the passer call on Clay Matthews this week. That's going to be my main prediction for the week. Lock that one in.
You're stupid, yeah. If he has another one, I mean, we talked about how sometimes they talk about like the stupid records. I'm surprised they won't be like, Clay Matthews just set a record for the most consecutive games with roughing the passer calls, because that would be game number 4. But no, yeah, I agree with you. Packers win this game. I don't even want to talk about it. It's not that great of a game. I'm not wasting y'all time or my time. If you're betting, you bet with the Packers. And leave that. Don't touch the Bills. Like,
I don't think you win much money.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd bet on that game.
Well, yeah, if you're just betting on that game only, you're not the smartest person. But I agree with what Paul said about that was kind of the wake up call, and people now say, okay, let me make sure we don't go in there too unprepared, because obviously they can at least do something. So, and that's true. You can't let that happen. I've seen it happen so many times. Back when Tampa was bad, back when the Titans were really bad. I've seen it when the Jaguars were really bad. Teams will go into these really bad places thinking, I've got this game locked up. And honestly, the only team that I've seen that you could just do that to was the Browns. Like, you could go there and like sleep and you win those games.
Not true.
Yeah, but
just not too long ago, maybe more than a couple, but not too long ago, Belichick came into Cleveland and laid a stinker when we were not a very good team, because that's basically every year for the past 15,
did he
16,
win?
17, 18 years. No, the Browns won. The Browns beat them.
Oh, really?
Surprise everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That must have been a really long time.
I mean,
ago.
it was probably, I don't know, 2010 maybe. That might not even be right. It was a while ago, but it wasn't far enough ago that it's like, crazy.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll into this next one. This next one's a little interesting. I've been hearing a lot of picks going both ways on this one, so it's really, really, it's fascinating, this game. So you've got the Detroit Lions, who looked great against the Patriots, but did not look good in their previous games. Got destroyed week 1. And then you have them going to Dallas, to Jerry World, to face off against the Cowboys, who have not looked good at all this season, except for a couple plays, like the Tavon Austin play against the Giants, or a couple rushes here and there when they give the ball to Zeke. And honestly, I'm going to go with the Lions in this one, because I do not believe the Cowboys are going to hand the ball to Zeke 20 plus times. Now, if the Cowboys hand the ball to Zeke 20 plus times, I believe that they can win, without a doubt. Give that man the ball 20 times, 25 times. Give it to him 30 times. But if you only give him the ball 15 times, 16 times, and you put the ball in Dak's hands Dak is not showing us that he can win a game on his own. I don't have faith in Dak, and I'm not saying this because I don't like the Cowboys. We already beat them this season. There's no point in me rubbing that in. I just don't think Dak's good. I don't think the defense can hold up the offense. The defense is good, but I don't think they can hold up the offense because we know Matt Stafford. Look what he just did against the Patriots. I know the Patriots defense isn't like the Cowboys defense, but still, we know he can put up points. I don't see Dak being able to do much. They need to give the ball to Zeke. I picked the Lions on this one.
I do too. I think it comes down to if the Cowboys can play with a lead. If the Cowboys can get a lead early, then I think it's likely that they win, but I just don't see it. I think the Lions offense is kind of potent. And I mean, it has been for a while, really. No one's ever questioned if the Lions can score. It's been more if they can stop people. And I think their defense is good enough to get a stop or two early, let the Lions take a lead, and then the Cowboys have to rely on Dak Prescott again. And that hasn't gone well for him.
Yeah, definitely. So here's a little stat that I want to throw out there. This has nothing to do with who's going to win, and nor does it determine anything. But I just thought it was really interesting when I was doing some research. Did you know that LeGarrette Blount has 38 rushing touchdowns since 2013? That is tied for the most in the NFL amongst active players. That's really something, though. LeGarrette Blount, he's very under the radar. I think he's very underrated. But he's been consistent. He's been on a couple teams, the Eagles, the Patriots, the Lions, but he's got 2 rings. Does he have 2 or 3?
I think he's got 3, right? 2 with the Pats and 1 with the Eagles.
He was with
just 1 with
he
the
was
Pats.
with the Pats in the Falcons game, all right? The Falcons Super
Right.
Bowl. Was he with them when they beat us?
I believe so. I'm pretty sure he was.
Regardless,
I could be wrong. That could have been.
Regardless, we know he has at least 2 rings.
He was.
I think White was there.
He started with like Tampa, and he went to New England, and then New England let him go, and he was in Pittsburgh, right? But then that year in Pittsburgh is the year that him and Le'Veon Bell got suspended for the weed thing at the beginning of the year, and the Steelers cut him, and the Patriots picked him back up. So I want to say he's got 3 rings.
Okay. Well, regardless, we know that he's got rings, and he's been doing his thing for a while. So let's go ahead and get into this. Go ahead.
I just think he's getting a little limited as he gets older.
Yeah, he's definitely older, and running backs don't last that well when in their older age.
I mean, he just used to be a workhorse guy, like he could carry a game himself. But I feel like now he's more of a. I mean, they're making him more of a short yardage, goal line kind of back.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into our next game. The next game we have is the Buccaneers at the Bears. This one's an interesting one. We've got the Bucs. I'm going to let Paul go first. I've been going first. Go ahead, Paul. Let me hear what you guys say about this one.
I'm going to pick the Bucs. I'm going to do it. Even though the only thing that makes me nervous is that the Bucs offense right now is kind of reliant on Fitzpatrick having time. Has he been? That's right. We don't know the starter until game time, right?
I actually haven't heard a single thing about who the starter is going to be, but let's be honest, it's going to be Fitzpatrick.
The last thing I saw about it was Cutter had told the quarterbacks who was going to be the starter, but he wasn't going to release it to the public. At least not until Sunday or whatever.
That's so stupid, and I get why he's doing that. But why do you play these games? Like, why are you playing these games with your fans? Like, people want to know. Why are you playing these games? Tell us who's starting.
Because
and
it's more important to win the game.
Oh, so we're gonna play this game for the game plan. I got you.
Right, so he's going to keep it quiet, and the Bears have to prepare for both, which means they can't. It's kind of like
stupid.
You can either do one thing whole ass, or you can do 2 things half assed, right?
They're not stupid. They know who's playing.
The Bears?
They know that Fitzpatrick is playing.
I'm going to be honest. Regardless of who plays quarterback for the Bucs, it's still reliant on that guy having time to throw the ball, and the Bears can eliminate that time to throw the ball very quickly. And that, I think, is what scares me, but I'm still going to pick the Bucs because they're so exciting. there's the long play potential. Their big play potential is just so exciting. And I like watching it. I like watching them play. I like watching them win.
So I do understand your point of why you're worried. Although I would disagree with you a little bit. Well, not disagree with you, but I would kind of say, well, every single quarterback and team in the NFL kind of is relying on their QB not getting their head knocked off when they play against Mac. So, I mean, I agree with you there. But because of the amount of weapons he has, because of the ability to get that ball off, he's got a nice arm. He's got a decent arm. It's not the most talented, but he's got some strength. He definitely has a deep ball in him. If he does get some time, like you said, if they can contain Mac a little bit and give him, I think the Bucs can definitely do it, because if it comes down to, am I picking Mitchell Trubisky or Fitzpatrick? I'm picking Fitzpatrick 100% of the time. Just because I know that he's going to put up points.
I mean, the Bears do have a pretty strong run game, though, especially compared to the
That's
Bucs.
well. That's why I'm
the
saying
Bucs have,
if Fitzpatrick can start scoring and it becomes that kind of game where it's a shootout, I'm picking Fitzpatrick all day long. And that's what the Bucs have been in. I mean, even against the Steelers, when the Steelers went up all those points, I mean, it still became. I mean, technically, it was a shootout, I guess. It was
right,
like
and
a weird
the Bucs
formatted.
came back.
Yeah, it was a weird formatted shootout. It wasn't score for score. It was you score 24, I'm going to go score 24. Yeah, so I picked the Bucs in this one. I agree, but I think Mac is going to be Mac. He's going to keep affecting the game, getting to the quarterback, and being a monster. So let's see what's on the next game we have here. It's the last early game. This one is the Bengals at the Falcons. Go ahead and make your pick here, Paul.
I'm going Falcons. The Bengals do look pretty good so far this year, but they're going down to Atlanta. The Falcons offense. I mean, last week we just watched Andy Dalton throw 4 picks. That's not good. And I know that's not every game for him. He's kind of up and down, but he had like 2 ups and then a down. So are we going to see another down, or are we going to see another up? And that question is why I don't feel comfortable picking the Bengals. Plus, they're down to like one guy at running back, right? Joe Mixon's still out right now. It's just Gio. And how many times can you throw the ball to AJ Green?
No,
I mean,
that's it.
They have other weapons. Don't get me wrong. It just seems like he's the guy that they're always throwing to. When we watched him play the Ravens, he had 3 touchdowns in the first half. But I mean, the Falcons, they're struggling a little bit on defense this year so far, just based on injuries alone. And I don't know that. I just don't know that Andy Dalton's a guy to really exploit their defense. And I think Matt Ryan can go have a day at that Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Okay, and that's definitely it's definitely what I'm thinking as well too. I'm kind of on the fence with it only because there's so many injuries right now on both sides of the ball for the Falcons. They've got defenders they've lost. They've got people on the offense they've lost. And what's weird is they came into the season, I think the only team that didn't have a single person on the injury reserve. They were like the healthiest, and now they're like the most hurt. And that's the NFL. That's really the NFL. I mean, that you got to be prepared for that. You have to know that injuries are going to happen every single season. So I still have them picked because I still believe they have enough talent, and I love their coaching. I love Dan Quinn. I love them at home. I love Matty in the dome. I mean, there's so many things that I pick with him, and I think Andy Dalton he throws picks too often. I mean, he's got a good amount already this season. So it's not like
just 4 in 1 week alone.
Yeah,
so.
that kind of inflated his stats. So I've got the Falcons on this one all day long. So that ends the 1 o'clock games or the early games, depending on where you're at in the country. So we got a couple 4
Now we get to the
games.
real games.
Yeah, we got to go. Yeah, we're going to get to the good games. Yeah, and we're going to start off with the best game. That's right. Is it America's game? Oh, yeah.
I don't think
That's
so.
right, Paul. That's right. We are going to go into real football town. What's that? What's that? We're going
to Phoenix?
No, I meant the team playing. But so the next game we have is the Seattle Seahawks headed to Arizona to face off against the Cardinals. This one's right here. I mean, this one's not hard at all to choose. I don't want to say that it's going to be easily done or we're going to handle it with ease because it is a division rival. And as everybody knows, nobody steps into a division rivalry and just walks away with a win with ease. Now, the Cardinals are 0-3. This is Josh Rosen's first start. And even though Seattle's defense is not what it has been in the past, they've looked good every game this season. We've had turnovers in every game this season. We've gotten to the quarterback in every game this season. They have made plays in every game this season. And rookie quarterbacks don't respond well all the time to these things, turnovers and sacks and the kind of scheming that happens here. I mean, Pete Carroll's a defensive-minded coach. I don't think Rosen's going to have a good game against his defense. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to really do much. He might have a couple plays, but that's about it. And then I don't believe that this Cardinals defense is the Cardinals defense from a couple years ago, that dangerous defense. Back when the West was the Niners defense, Seattle's defense, the Rams defense, and the Cardinals defense. Because now really it's the Rams defense, and then Seattle's got like a fade in the distance still of a little shadow of a defense, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the Niners defense really ain't that anymore. The Cardinals defense ain't that anymore. So I think the Seattle goes up here. I think Russell has a great game again. He's been looking good with his precise arm. Beautiful deep ball. Tyler Lockett's going to have a touchdown. If you have Tyler Lockett in your fantasy, put him in for this game. And I think Chris Carson goes over 100 yards again. I give the Seahawks by 9.
That's a strong prediction. 9 points, huh?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I'm picking Seattle.
That's the first time you probably picked Seattle this whole season.
I'm not sure. I didn't pick them last week.
No, I know. You picked the Cowboys, you picked the Bears, you picked the Broncos. I know. I listen to you. I hate you every time you. Yeah.
Well, I've been right 2 out of 3, so that ain't bad. No, I'm taking the Seahawks. The Cardinals don't look very good right now. They just don't seem like they have a lot going for them. Their offense, they're dealing with some major blocking issues. And, I mean, Rosen's fresh, and I don't mean like ready to go. I mean wet behind the ears. And I just don't know that he's going to be able to come in. Last week they brought him in late in the game, even though they were only down 2, just to try to get some energy in the offense, is what Coach Wilkes said. But they didn't have any. They still kind of stunk it up. He threw 1 pick. He almost threw another, and he only had 7 attempts. So in 7 attempts, he had almost a pick 6, and since it went incomplete, he turned around and still threw the pick. Like, I just don't see the Cardinals really being very good this year. Maybe they surprise us. They might. I mean, the way it's looking, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I mean, they could potentially win 1 or 2 only. It's a strong potential.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. They definitely look like one of the teams that are going to be at the bottom of the power rankings the entire season. They're going to be at the top of the draft order. So no, that's definitely something I agree with. So let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Since I just noticed that this game is in Glendale, I was thinking, what could I do to really get under Mike's skin? And I think that would be to buy tickets to this game and go to it.
Yeah, that's going to get under my skin. You forking out a couple $100 to go watch Seattle win. That hurts me.
Tickets are $30.
Really? The tickets are $30 for the Cardinal Stadium? See, I live in Dallas.
It's not because it's the Cardinal Stadium. It's because of the matchup. The Seahawks aren't good and the Cardinals aren't good.
Well, Seattle's definitely good. But listen, I live in Dallas, okay? And
yeah,
this stadium, there's one section where you can get tickets for $50 or whatever. It's the standing section. But that's what it's standing. I'm disabled.
Standing room only.
I can't stand for 4 hours. I'd
buy those every time. I'm going to be walking to the beer stand.
But see, here's the thing though. They're also because it's standing, it's flat. So if you're not in the very front of the group, you're not even really watching the game. You're pretty much paying to go drink at the football stadium where beers are $20 a pop.
Right. I'd rather just
go to the bar
down the road.
But so my tickets. Let's see. I was in the midsection last Christmas Eve when Seattle beat the hell out of the Cowboys and ruined their hopes for any playoff chance. and I paid like $350. And it was good. It was good seats. I mean, I wasn't real low.
Well, how many tickets do you buy?
One.
Just one ticket?
Yeah. What do you think I was gonna bring somebody?
I mean, you have a wife, you have
Yeah.
kids.
Why would I spend an extra $350 to bring somebody that
Well,
doesn't
I
care
didn't
about
realize
football?
that it was one ticket for $350.
Yeah.
That's really expensive. I agree. You
Yeah.
spend $700.
I'm the only Seahawks fan in the house. We don't pay $350 so that someone can accompany me to something they don't care about.
Oh yeah, and your wife's a Broncos fan because she doesn't really know. Broncos are. Why? How could you?
Don't
even
get
be
me
a
in
Broncos
trouble.
fan?
Don't get me in trouble. Don't do it. Don't do it because she's listening. Don't do it. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next game. And P.S. the Broncos lost 43-8 in Super Bowl 48. So the next game is the Browns versus the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Uh-oh. The dog pound is headed to the black hole.
Oh, this is definitely a game of just super fans. Guys that know nothing else than loving their team.
Paul.
And girls for that matter.
Paul.
And it's going to be crazy. Any Browns fans that show up there, be careful because those Raiders fans are probably ready to fight. Their team's 0-3. And when we come in and beat them, they're not going to be happy.
Whoa, Paul. Can I say one thing?
What's that?
Hold your horses on you guys beating people. Let's remember one thing. The Browns are not good. No, I'm just messing with you. So no, I agree. I just wanted to mess with you. But you know the sad thing that I have to keep reminding myself, the days are coming to an end where the Browns jokes might not be, good anymore.
Oh,
That's what hurts me. That's
making
why I
me so
try and
happy.
find any moment I can. But I mean, the Browns had 30 they had 30 different starting quarterbacks since 1999. Like the jokes have been here. We've been having fun, but it looks like it's finally coming to an end. I have a feeling it's this year. You guys are going to win this game.
I agree. I'm definitely picking the Browns again, not just because I'm a homer. I'm pretty sure I picked the Steelers week 1. And maybe I think I picked the Browns week 2, but either way,
That's because you go through some stuff with the Browns, so you pick against them out of anger.
I'm metered, right? I try to be as objective as possible, but we're looking at Baker Mayfield looks really good in his first playing time.
You know
right?
he's in
It's
the top
only
10
half.
jersey sales right now?
Oh, I'm sure he's got to be near the top, right?
He hasn't even started a game, and he's top 10 in jersey sales.
I mean, look, I have a problem that we'll get into later, right? I have kind of a curse with buying jerseys and memorabilia and things like that.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I remember.
basically any person who I end up buying things for leaves my team.
Yeah, so
or
don't buy
so-
it.
has
Do not
some
buy a
huge
Baker
issue.
jersey.
Like, right. So, like, I have a Josh Gordon jersey. I have an old Trent Richardson jersey. I have a Joe Hayden jersey. I have some LeBron jerseys in the closet. I got some Kyrie Irving stuff, and that's only the Cleveland teams. I can go into more detail, but that's a story for another time. So, I'm not buying a Baker jersey. Sorry, Baker. I'd love to give you some
Support.
there, but I think if I buy another Browns jersey, it's gonna have to be like a customized one, like with my name on it or something like that. So just
It's
because
still
I
gonna-
can't leave the team,
It's still
right?
going to work. You're going to end up not liking the Browns anymore and leaving the team.
Yeah, they're too good now. I can't do this.
Yeah, I need a struggling team. Where's the Bills at when you need them?
But no, the Browns just look really good. They have a run game. If Baker plays like he did last week, they have a passing game. They have a really, really good defense Derek Carr's throwing picks this year, and the Browns are turnover machines this year. So the Raiders defense isn't looking too good. The Raiders offense is having a little turnover trouble. I mean, all the things point to the Browns winning this game. As a Browns fan, let's just hope that it goes that way.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and roll into the next game. We've got a couple games left. It's going to be speed round because we're near the end of our time. So real quick, couple words. Keep it moving. Saints, Giants. I'm going to go Saints, and my words are Breeze and Thomas and Kamara.
I agree. Saints for sure. Giants don't look too good.
All right. 49ers at the Chargers. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, the Chargers are going to take this one because Beat Hard is playing quarterback.
All right, I was going to
There's
say
no
no
contest.
upset pick today. No,
No.
Chargers all day. One of the best teams in the AFC. I mean, they're sneaky underdogs all the time. People don't give them credit for how good they are. Chargers. Then Sunday night game. Woo, man, the NFL is doing a good job this season.
We're ending with some strong games.
The NFL is doing a really good job this season with their scheduling so far. I've had a blast with almost
At least on Sunday nights has been great.
Yeah, Sunday nights and Thursday's been good. We've had Thursday night games, and then Monday has been
well, because ESPN had that whole
they're not.
They've been kind of
ESPN.
They've been kind of dogging the NFL for a little while, and the NFL heard what they said, and they said, "Oh, word,
you got
watch your ratings.
You got beef, bro. All right, watch this. I'm finna give you the Jets and the Lions."
Yeah, but that was actually fun to watch.
Yeah, if you like watching blowouts. So, final game Sunday night. Ravens at Steelers. Ooh, that's a good game. I'm going to go Steelers, even though my heart is telling me Ravens. But after watching the Steelers come together a little bit, I think they can put this together. But as we said on the other episode that just dropped today, the Steelers, man, they didn't actually look that good against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they really only scored off of the turnovers. They didn't score on actual drives of their own. But I have faith that the Steelers will put something together. I've got the Steelers.
I'm also picking the Steelers. I think the problem with me is I have this hatred ingrained in me. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I hate the Steelers, but I have this other hatred that's way stronger, and it's for the Ravens. Because I like to call them the old Browns, but only when I'm talking about them in good light, right? If I'm talking about them right now, they're the Ravens. But they I just don't really trust the Ravens offense. I know they're scoring a lot this year, and their red zone offense is off the charts. I think they've got a touchdown in every single red zone appearance that they've had. But the Steelers, I think, are the more complete team. They're a little more dangerous, and I think they've had their kind of slow start, and they're here to play now. And I'm going to pick the Steelers.
All right. And then let's go ahead and roll into our Monday night game. And we got the Chiefs-Broncos. I'm going to go ahead and just say right now, Chiefs win this game. I don't see this being anything other than that. I think offense is going to just handle it, and that's pretty much it. Case Keenum's going to throw 3 interceptions.
It's the Pat Mahomes show. We're going to watch it. We're going to sit front row to it. The whole nation is watching now. So this is a great game for Pat Mahomes to show out again, right? I don't trust Case Keenum. I don't know about 3 picks, but because the Chiefs' defense isn't great, but I don't think the Broncos' offense is good enough to play against bad defenses and dominate them. So Chiefs are going to take an early lead. If you got Kareem Hunt, play him because he's probably going to get some solid rushing attempts here. That was kind of a dumb comment. I guess you're going to play Kareem Hunt if you got him. But
hey, play Tyreek Hill too if you got him.
But maybe take a chance, play Spencer Ware because he might get some playing time too. How about that one? There's your sleeper of the week.
No, don't listen to him, guys. All right, guys. This was the Week 4 preview show. Those were all the games for Sunday. We will be back Sunday night with our Sunday recap, going over all the games, all the action of Sunday, talking about what happened, what was, exciting, and all the good stuff. So make sure you guys are liking all these videos. You're liking the podcast. Make sure you guys check out the other podcast that was released today, the bonus content, questions from fans. We answered a bunch of questions from some people that submitted them, talking all about football. Other than that, we're going to let you guys go. Be back Sunday night. We're going to go ahead and talk about all the games. This is MVP News. I'm Mike Pagano. That's Paul Helmers. You guys have a great weekend.